yeah, we're not sure how the ozone is going to go. And ozone itself is, again, something else that's not covered by insurance. And, we try to get all of these things covered, but they're just not. And so for many treatments, especially for long COVID, they are all considered experimental. And that's our only options, is to experiment and find something that will help with this. Going in for these treatments is always stressful for all of us, especially new ones, because we never know how my body is going to react. It doesn't react in the ways usually that they think it's going to, or they hope it's going to, and my body just doesn't react in predictable or consistent ways. So there's always this mixture of hopeful, but also just a lot of stress. And something will work for a while or help manage a symptom for a while, and then suddenly it will have a really negative effect. Like I was on THC to help with sleep, and it was fine for like a year and a half, and then suddenly I took it one night and it affected my breathing, and acted as a respiratory suppressant. So everything is just a wild card with this. So that is kind of what we're holding and what we're all going through as we build up to these appointments, and then, on the other side of them as well. Okay, I'm gonna try to have this be as coherent as possible. The longer I'm awake, the worse my symptoms tend to get. My kids say that it's like stuff starts to just power off inside of me, which is about what it feels like. We're stopped for lunch, and just, being awake, the fatigue gets worse. My brain functioning gets worse. It's hard for me to organize my thoughts, and speaking can get harder. Feels very uncomfortable to be showing and sharing this, but I think it can be helpful for people to understand maybe more of what this disease is like and what it looks like. It gets harder to breathe. My body just the pain level goes up. My legs and just feel on fire. My back is on fire. My lymph is really swollen. Super nauseous. My joints really are just very painful. Intercostals are inflamed, which can also affect my breathing. Yeah, and when we stop for lunch, it's, we always we make everything, because my body, I struggle with eating. I can have, my body will decide that it doesn't like something anymore, and we just have to be able to track what that is, and I become allergic to things that I wasn't allergic to before. And we need to know exactly what those different things are. So we always make all of our own food. And if my body decides that it doesn't like something anymore, that can throw off my eating for weeks or months, and it can be really difficult, and I end up, losing a lot of weight again. And it's just becomes really painful, and it's, I already feel nauseous a lot, and it just will, make that even worse. So as we drove, we listened to Fleetwood Mac, and talked about feelings, of course, because that's what we do. And, just talked about how it's really stressful and scary. The uncertainty of everything with this disease, and all of the treatments are experimental, and every single part of this experience from March of 2020 has been just filled with, probably at this point, thousands of unanswered questions. And we just don't know what will happen. And we don't know if anything that we're trying will help, but, we just keep experimenting, and it's hard to have all the preparatory work that we do emotionally and with research, and just even physically getting ready, resting extra, and things like that, and conversations, and prepping the kids, and prepping our life, so that, because the more ill I am, just the harder it is, all the day-to-day stuff, like the more symptomatic I am. So then, we'll be going in and doing the treatment here soon. All right, so we're driving, and it's upside down and all sorts of backwards, but abnormal heart rate detected sitting, which means that it goes above 130 just sitting. All right. So it's fairly normal for my heart rate, my resting heart rate, to go above 130. I have that alarm that goes off. And even with all of these different things, this is what Kendall and I would describe as a fairly low symptom day. I guess that just kind of level set, is that the phrase or to use? So all of these are normal symptoms for me. Right now my heart is cramped up, my left arm is cramped up, and yeah, that's just kind of part of the day-to-day stuff of long COVID. We're here, about to go in for the Ozone. I don't remember what I was going to say, but that's part of the stuff. Memory is not super good. Oh, I remember now. Kendall has to go in first because masks are not required anymore in medical facilities, and so he goes in and makes sure that everybody's wearing a mask so we can be safe. The one thing that the OHSU doctor at the long COVID clinic said is that we have to, which we have, known all along, but he confirmed, is that we have to make sure that none of us get sick with COVID again. That would be super bad news for us. So yeah, and I usually get a fever at least once a day. I don't have a thermometer with me. We don't bring it with us, but it's at home. But it feels like I've got one now. That's also just normal at this point. So in we go. All right, laying down, just waiting for the doctor to come in. Okay, the Ozone has started. Let's see if I can. Here's the blood coming out. goes down into a bag. That bag has saline and stuff to keep it from clotting, and then once it's filled, add the ozone and then put it back in my body. All right, and then the kids are in the other room getting their IVs. Okay, so it's a little awkward to do all this laying down with an IV in, but this is what it looks like, and we're starting at a super low dose. Now the ozone's in it. Let me see if I can get that. It's up there, and it's that super bright color. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, but then it goes in, and we'll see. All right, I am done. Gonna get some blood work done after this, but laying down here and just resting for a bit. Yeah, we'll just keep seeing how it goes from here, but the IV is out. We made it through that part. Okay, so we left the doctor's office and we are heading home. Everything is, as it has been so far, and now we just kind of wait and see how I react to it. And yeah, oops, sorry, got some tremoring happening, so I'll stop. So I realized that people may not know what tremoring is, and it is where my body starts to shake and I don't have any control over it. My muscles just start to spasm, and that happens in